Now, who needs to be particularly vigilant? The risk factors are well established. Age is certainly one. As we move past our 40s and 50s, metabolic processes can change. Lifestyle plays a critical role. A sedentary pattern, common with desk jobs, or reduced mobility is a major factor. And crucially, dietary habits are paramount. A preference for foods rich in certain types of fats and sugars, or simply inconsistent eating patterns, significantly elevates risk. High cholesterol isn't just bad luck. It's often a direct consequence of cumulative lifestyle choices interacting with our individual physiology. This brings me to a critical point I must emphasize from a health perspective. It's a common misconception I encounter frequently. Upon receiving a diagnosis of high cholesterol, many individuals are prescribed medication, typically statins. They diligently take their pill and assume the problem is managed. Please understand this clearly. Medication is a vital intervention for many, but it is not and cannot be the entire solution. Think of it as providing support, but it cannot fully counteract a continuous influx of problematic substances from your diet. If dietary habits remain unchanged, if the intake of foods driving up cholesterol and unhealthy fats persists, then the medication is essentially fighting a constant incoming tide. Even with years of medication, if the dietary fuel for high cholesterol isn't reduced, the underlying vascular damage can continue. Achieving truly healthy blood lipid profiles requires a dual approach: appropriate medical intervention and foundationally dietary modification. Why do some individuals struggle to lower their cholesterol despite medication? Barring specific genetic factors or other health conditions, the answer overwhelmingly points back to diet. The food we consume provides the raw materials that influence our blood chemistry. What you put on your fork directly translates into the levels of cholesterol and fats circulating in your bloodstream. Therefore, today's focus is essential. We are going to identify with clarity 6 specific categories of food commonly consumed in American diets. These aren't necessarily exotic or unusual. They're often staples. But for individuals managing cholesterol, they represent significant obstacles, actively contributing to the burden on your cardiovascular system. Understanding why these foods are problematic is the first step towards making informed choices. Your heart health is not merely a matter of fate. It's significantly influenced by the conscious decisions you make about your nutrition every single day. Let's begin this crucial examination. Greetings, and welcome to Life Whispers. I'm honored you're joining me today. Think of this space as a conversation grounded in knowledge, designed specifically to support us in living our healthiest, most fulfilling lives, particularly as we embrace the wisdom and experiences that come with age. There's a condition prevalent in our communities, one that often operates in stealth mode within the body. It doesn't announce itself with pain or discomfort in its early stages. We're talking about high cholesterol, medically known as dyslipidemia. While the term might sound clinical, the reality is deeply physical, affecting the very essence of our cardiovascular health, the intricate network of vessels that carries life-sustaining blood to every cell. This condition is a significant contributor, often underestimated, to the health challenges faced by millions, particularly impacting heart health, a cornerstone of longevity and quality of life. If the information we explore here resonates with you and provides clarity, I encourage you to engage with our community. Clicking like, subscribing to Life Whispers, and sharing this video allows this vital knowledge to reach others who stand to benefit. Together we can build a foundation of understanding for better health outcomes. Let's look at the scope of this. Data from leading health organizations like the World Health Organization and the CDC here in the U.S. consistently show that elevated cholesterol affects a vast number of adults, Figures often indicate that more than one-third of adults globally, and a significant percentage right here at home, have levels that put them at increased risk. The most insidious aspect? Many individuals are entirely unaware. The lack of overt symptoms allows the condition to progress silently. It functions like an internal erosion, gradually compromising the integrity of our blood vessels, significantly increasing the probability of serious cardiovascular events like heart attack and stroke. Category 1. Fatty cuts of red meat. Red meats such as beef, pork, and lamb are indeed sources of complete protein, heme-iron, which is well absorbed, zinc and vitamin B12, nutrients important for various bodily functions. However, for individuals concerned with cholesterol management, the primary issue lies in the high content of saturated fat, particularly prevalent in fattier cuts. We're talking about ribeye, T-bone steaks, brisket, non-lean ground beef, e.g. 70-30-80-20 blends, pork ribs, bacon, sausage, and pork shoulder. Saturated fat has a direct, scientifically established impact on blood lipids. Its consumption signals the liver to produce more LDL, low-density lipoprotein cholesterol. This is often termed the bad cholesterol because high levels lead to its deposition within artery walls. Concurrently, high saturated fat intake can sometimes suppress levels of HDL, high-density lipoprotein cholesterol, the good cholesterol responsible for transporting excess cholesterol away from the arteries and back to the liver for processing. This imbalance, elevated LDL and potentially reduced HDL, creates the perfect environment for atherosclerosis, the gradual buildup of fatty plaques. Imagine the pipes in your home slowly accumulating scale. These plaques narrow the arterial lumen, restricting blood flow. This forces the heart muscle to work significantly harder to circulate blood, contributing to hypertension, high blood pressure, and drastically elevating the risk of plaque rupture, which can trigger blood clots leading to heart attack or stroke. The process is typically asymptomatic for years, which underscores its danger. Furthermore, common preparation methods, frying, grilling at high temperatures leading to charring, stewing in high-sodium, high-fat sauces, introduce additional less unhealthy fats and sodium, placing further stress on cardiovascular health and organs like the liver and kidneys, which are central to fat metabolism and detoxification. So, what is the informed approach? It's about strategic selection and moderation. Prioritize lean cuts. Choose sirloin, tenderloin, round cuts, or extra lean ground meat, 93% lean or higher. Always trim any visible fat before cooking. For poultry, always remove the skin. Modify. Cooking techniques emphasize baking, broiling, grilling without excessive charring, roasting, poaching, or steaming. Limit frying. Control portions. A standard serving of meat is about 3 to 4 ounces cooked, roughly the size of a deck of cards. Treat red meat as a smaller component of the meal, not the centerpiece. Aim to limit intake to perhaps 1 or 2 servings per week. Diversify protein sources. Actively incorporate more fish, especially omega-3 rich varieties like salmon, mackerel, herring, sardines, skinless poultry, legumes, beans, lentils, peas, tofu, and nuts into your diet. These offer high-quality protein with far more favorable fat profiles. While red meat offers nutrients, its potential to elevate harmful cholesterol levels through saturated fat requires careful management. Prioritizing lean choices, appropriate portions, healthy cooking methods, and diversifying protein intake are fundamental strategies for protecting cardiovascular health. Category 2. Organ meats. Organ meats, including liver, kidney, heart, and others, are consumed in various culinary traditions and are known to be dense sources of certain micronutrients like iron, vitamin A, and some B vitamins. Historically, they were often valued for these contributions. However, from a cardiovascular health perspective, particularly for individuals managing cholesterol, organ meats present a significant challenge due to their exceptionally high cholesterol content and substantial levels of saturated fat. To provide concrete context, a single 3.5-ounce serving of beef liver can contain well over 300 megatons of dietary cholesterol, potentially exceeding the daily recommended limit, often advised as under 300 milligallons for the general population and under 200 milligallons for those at high cardiovascular risk, in one go. Brain tissue is even more extreme. This massive acute cholesterol load directly contributes to raising blood LDL levels. Beyond the sheer cholesterol numbers, the saturated fat content further exacerbates the issue, stimulating the body's own production of LDL cholesterol. This creates a double burden on the system. The liver, already tasked with managing blood lipids, becomes overwhelmed, potentially contributing to conditions like non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and making overall cholesterol control significantly more difficult. Additionally, as filtering organs, the liver and kidneys can potentially accumulate environmental toxins, heavy metals, or residues from animal feed or medications, depending on the source and farming practices. While the extent varies, this is another factor to consider regarding regular consumption. The traditional belief that eating an organ benefits the corresponding organ in our body is not supported by modern nutritional science in the context of cholesterol management. The detrimental impact of the high cholesterol and saturated fat load far outweighs any potential benefits from specific micronutrients found in these foods, especially for individuals already at cardiovascular risk. Based on the clear biochemical impact, the recommendation is firm. Individuals with diagnosed high cholesterol, high blood pressure, established heart disease, or fatty liver disease should strictly avoid organ meats. Even for those with borderline levels or seeking prevention, consumption should be extremely rare and in very small quantities, if consumed at all. Focus nutrient intake on sources that support cardiovascular health without this associated risk: lean proteins, abundant fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and healthy unsaturated fats. The extremely high concentration of cholesterol and saturated fat in organ meats makes them fundamentally unsuitable for a heart-healthy diet, particularly when managing existing lipid concerns. Prudent avoidance is the recommended course. Category 3: Processed foods and fast food. The demands of modern life often lead us towards convenience foods, items designed for quick preparation and consumption. This category is broad, encompassing processed meats, sausages, hot dogs, bacon, deli meats like bologna and salami, pre-packaged meals, many commercially baked goods, cookies, pastries, crackers, salty snacks, chips, instant soups and noodles, and the majority of typical fast food offerings, burgers, fried chicken, fries. While convenient, these foods are frequently problematic due to a combination of factors detrimental to cardiovascular health. Firstly, they often contain high levels of saturated and trans fats. Many processed foods rely on saturated fats for texture and shelf stability. Critically, they may also contain partially hydrogenated oils, the primary source of artificial trans fats. Trans fats are particularly damaging. They significantly raise LDL, bad, cholesterol, while simultaneously lowering HDL, cholesterol, and promote inflammation. While regulatory efforts have aimed to reduce artificial trans fats in the U.S. food supply, they haven't been entirely eliminated and can still appear in some products, often hidden under ingredient names like partially hydrogenated oil. Vigilance is still required. The saturated fat content alone in many of these items is often high enough to negatively impact your LDL levels significantly. Beyond the fats, there are other major concerns: excessive sodium. Processed foods are notoriously high in sodium, used heavily for preservation and flavor enhancement. Chronic high sodium intake is a primary driver of hypertension or high blood pressure, which damages artery walls and forces your heart to work harder. High cholesterol and high blood pressure dangerously compound each other's risks. Additionally, many contain refined carbohydrates and hidden sugars, contributing to blood sugar spikes, negatively impacting triglyceride levels and promoting inflammation. These foods also tend to have low nutrient density and fiber, displacing more nutritious options and lacking the beneficial fiber needed to help lower LDL cholesterol. Finally, the combination of unhealthy ingredients can promote chronic low-grade inflammation, a key factor in atherosclerosis development. The informed approach here involves minimizing reliance on these convenience items. Prioritize whole, unprocessed foods whenever possible. Cook meals from scratch using fresh ingredients, allowing you control over fat, sodium, and sugar content. When choosing packaged foods, become a diligent label reader. Look for lower sodium options, check for saturated and trans fats, examine the sugar content, and opt for products with simpler, recognizable ingredient lists. Making these foods IIB regular part of your diet is a significant impediment to managing cholesterol and protecting your heart. Category 4. Deep-fried foods. Now, let's address foods prepared through deep frying, a method that, while producing tempting textures and flavors, poses particular risks. Think French fries, fried chicken, onion rings, donuts, and many restaurant appetizers. The primary concerns include the formation of trans fats, especially when oil is reused at high temperatures. Foods also act like sponges, leading to the absorption of unhealthy fats used in the fryer. If the oil is high in saturated or omega-6 fats, you ingest large quantities that negatively impact cholesterol balance and promote inflammation. Frying also dramatically increases calorie density due to absorbed fat, contributing to weight gain, which is detrimental to cholesterol management. Furthermore, high-heat cooking like deep frying contributes to the formation of harmful compounds, AGEs, which promote oxidative stress and inflammation, potentially damaging blood vessels. The healthiest strategy is to drastically limit or avoid deep-fried foods. Explore alternative cooking methods, baking or roasting. Use a little heart-healthy oil for crispiness. Air frying mimics crispiness with minimal oil. Sautéing or stir-frying. Use minimal healthy oils over moderate heat. Grilling or broiling allows fat to drip away. Choosing these methods allows enjoyment of flavorful foods without the heavy load associated with deep frying. Category 5. Animal skin. This specific detail is often overlooked but important. The skin on poultry, chicken, turkey, and the crackling skin on pork. While palatable to many, these are problematic for cholesterol management because animal skin is predominantly fat, primarily saturated fat, and also contains cholesterol. Leaving the skin on during cooking allows this fat to render and be absorbed by the meat, or it's consumed directly. Even discarding skin after cooking doesn't negate the fat already absorbed by the meat. Roasting or frying skin at high temperatures also contributes to age formation. The recommendation is straightforward. Always remove the skin from poultry before cooking or choose skinless cuts. Recognize crispy pork skin as a high-fat indulgence for very rare occasions, if at all, when managing cholesterol. Prioritizing lean meat, prepared healthily, is key. Category 6. Sweets, sugary drinks, and hidden sugars. Finally, let's address candy, cookies, cakes, pastries, ice cream, regular sodas, sweetened fruit juices, sports drinks, and sweetened coffees, teas, as well as less obvious hidden sugars in many processed foods. Excess sugar negatively impacts cholesterol and heart health primarily by influencing triglycerides. Excess sugar, especially fructose, is converted by the liver into triglycerides. High triglycerides are an independent risk factor for heart disease and contribute to plaque buildup. High sugar intake can also negatively affect LDL and HDL cholesterol, potentially creating smaller, denser, more harmful LDL particles and lowering beneficial HDL levels. It places strain on the liver, potentially leading to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, which disrupts cholesterol metabolism. Furthermore, it drives insulin resistance and inflammation. Constant high sugar intake can lead to insulin resistance, a precursor to type 2 diabetes, which is linked to unhealthy lipid profiles and promotes chronic inflammation that damages blood vessels. Be aware of hidden sugars in savory items like bread, sauces, dressings, ketchup, flavored yogurts, and cereals by reading labels carefully. Quantifying the issue is stark. A single soda can contain 9 to 10 teaspoons of sugar, exceeding daily recommendations. Managing sugar intake is crucial. Drastically reduce or eliminate sugary drinks. Choose water or unsweetened beverages. Treat desserts as occasional indulgences in small portions. Choose whole fruits over juices for sweetness and fiber. Read labels meticulously to avoid hidden sugars. Cook at home to control sugar content. Use natural low-calorie sweeteners like stevia sparingly, focusing on reducing overall sweetness preference. So we've examined these 6 key food categories: fatty red meats, organ meats, processed and fast foods, deep-fried items, animal skin, and sugary foods and drinks. Notice the common thread? They are often high in saturated fats, trans fats, cholesterol, sodium, or added sugars, all factors that contribute negatively to your blood lipid profile and overall cardiovascular health. High cholesterol operates silently. You don't feel your arteries gradually narrowing day by day. That's precisely why understanding the dietary contributors is so profoundly important. It empowers you to take proactive steps rather than waiting for symptoms to arise, which often signify advanced disease. Remember my earlier point about medication? It plays a role, often a necessary one prescribed by your physician. But true, sustainable improvement in your cardiovascular health hinges significantly on modifying the daily inputs, the food choices you make. Continuing to consume these problematic foods while relying solely on a pill is like trying to bail out a boat while leaving a hole wide open in the bottom. The knowledge we've shared today isn't meant to induce fear, but to foster awareness and inspire action. You have significant power to influence your health trajectory through informed dietary choices. It's not about deprivation, but about substitution and moderation, choosing leaner proteins, embracing healthy fats from plants and fish, loading up on fiber-rich vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, and minimizing processed items, unhealthy fats, and excess sugars. Making these changes might require adjusting long-held habits, and that takes time and commitment. Start small, perhaps by focusing on eliminating one category or making one healthier swap each week. Consistency is key. Each positive choice you make is an investment in your future health, adding vitality to your years. Thank you for joining me here at Life Whispers today. I hope this discussion has provided valuable insights you can apply to your own health journey. If you found this information helpful, please like this video, subscribe for more evidence-based health guidance tailored for our life stage, and share it with those you care about. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you won't miss our future conversations. Until next time, be well, stay informed, and take proactive steps towards your best health. I wish you vitality and peace.